يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Alhamdulillah, during the last class we were able to finish with the Tafsir Surah Yusuf. So as you suggested that we should continue with Surah Yusuf. So inshallah today will be the first lesson in this surah. We'll begin inshallah by the will of Allah to see what will happen inshallah. Maybe we will be able to finish inshallah. So Surah Yusuf, like any other surah in the Quran, is one of the most important surahs that contain lessons for the Muslims. Scholars have written books. One of the best book written about the lessons contained in Surah Yusuf is a book written by Abdul Rahman Sa'di, Tafsir Surah Yusuf. It's a very important book, concise and brief, straight to the point. It's very beneficial, inshallah, if you can get it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alif Lam Ra, Tilka Ayatul Kitabil Mubin, Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan la'allakum ta'qilun. نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala began this surah with one of the miraculous nature of the Quran, which is to challenge a human being to produce something similar to the Quran. One of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses to challenge human being is the fawatih as-surah, things like Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Ra, Alif Lam Mim Sad, and other things like this. This word, according to the best and the most authentic view of the scholars, no one knows the meaning except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The exact meaning of this word is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't know. So some scholars, they explain the reason why it is like this, so that the Arabs can see that although the language of the book is Arabic, but none of them knows the meaning. Neither the one who wrote it, nor anyone who can criticize the credibility and the authenticity of the Quran. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala challenged them in many ways. Quran is revealed in Arabic. As He said, Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan. We have revealed the Quran, something that you should read in Arabic language. So it's pure Arabic language. So that's why even many scholars, they rejected to have in the Quran something which is originally taken from other languages. Originally taken from other language, they said this is against and contrary to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said here, Quran and Arabic. Because if we believe that there are certain words that are taken from other culture, other languages, that means the meaning of this verse is not accurate. But other scholars, classical scholars, they said no, it's still taken from other language. When Quran borrowed a word, or Arabs, when they borrowed a word and they put it in Arabic language and they use it from time to time, it will become part of the language. So therefore when Quran uses it, he is using Arabic language. As you know, we are sharing languages. Wherever you go, you must find some of the words shared by other nations. So Wallahu A'lam, most likely the most authentic view is the one that says yes, it does exist certain words that originally are taken from other languages, but the Arabs, once they use it from time to time, the words become part of the language. So Quran is a language, it's revealed in Arabic language, and the Arabs, the Prophet ﷺ went to, they were the expert and the masters of the language. So Allah SWT sent Musa with a miracle that fit his own people. The people of Musa ﷺ, they are dealing magic. So they're proud of having the magic. So Allah SWT sent Musa ﷺ with something which looks like magic, although it is reality in fact. Because that snake that came from the stick of Musa ﷺ is a real snake, unlike the snakes that came from the magic of the magician. Musa's snake is a real one. Their one is not a snake. They did magic in your eyes. That's why you see snake, although they are still rope and sticks. But Musa's one is snake because the one who created stick is the one who turned the stick into snake, the real one. It's not a fake. That's why it was able to swallow all of those snakes, fake snakes, and the ropes, the sticks thrown by the magician. So Musa took something to them which looks like what they are doing, although his is reality, so that he can compete what they have. Because if he is to bring something else which his people, they don't know how to deal with it, then they can say, okay, bring something which we can deal with. So Allah SWT will give any prophet something that fit his own people so that they will never have any excuse. Isa ﷺ, he went to his people with medicine. He did something which is very excellent, which none of them ever imagined. Things that no one ever imagined them to be cured. Isa did the job by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So someone who is suffering from leprosy, Isa can make dua for this person, he can become okay. Blind people, they can see. And not only this, because this one someone can try. Till today, the doctors, they are trying to find the real medicine for these diseases. But there are other things that they know they cannot try. To build and to make a clay pigeon and blow into it and then it will become alive and fly. They cannot do this. And Isa did it beyond the realm of their own imagination. They're talking about medicine, okay, imitate this. So they couldn't, and they were confirmed, they were sure that Isa is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's not a fake prophet. Each and every prophet you see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah never sent them without sending along with them miracles that are sufficient and convincing to their own people. Every prophet went with a miracle, including Hud alayhi salatu wasalam. Because Hud, some people, maybe they might think, looking at the history, Hud did not have any miracle. But he has. Imam Ibn al-Hanafi, the commentator of Tahawiyah, when he talked about this issue, he brought the miracle, he exposed it. He said, almost you can say without exaggeration, this is one of the most greatest miracles that Allah SWT ever gave human being. To see something physical that you can touch, yes, he did not bring anything. But imagine people like the people of Hud alayhi salatu wasalam, giant, maybe bigger than this place in Wallah. Big, huge people, very strong. When they want to build something, they just go to the mountain. They don't have this bricks in the way we build our own house. So this is for people like our size. They're proud of having the strength and the power. They will go to the mountain and dig the mountain and design the house in the way they want. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them power. So imagine these people, and one of them, is to stand in front of each and every one of them and challenge them to touch him if they can do so. And none of them was able to do so. He was saying, "Fakiduni jami'an thumma la tunziru." He said, "Don't you ever give me respite. Do whatever you want." So Imam Abdul Aziz said to have one person challenging these huge creatures, asking them to come and touch him if they can do it, but none of them was able to do so. He said this is one of the greatest miracles that Allah SWT ever gave any prophet. So, as I said, the Prophet ﷺ, he had mentioned that no prophet that went to his people without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sending him with miracles that are convincing to his own people. So likewise, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he wasn't different from them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he looked into his people, he found that these people, they're proud of having the language. Or the language, the Arabic language, the way you speak. They value you. They value personality based on how you speak. So if your poetry is that strong, that means you will be on top of everyone. And they will take your poetry and hang it on the door of Kaaba. That's how excellent and strong and powerful is the people of the poetry amongst the Arabs. So they're dealing with the language, the way you speak. So when Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came with a book which is in Arabic language, and they told him, no, this book, you are the one who wrote it. They brought the experts. They said he was the one who wrote it, or he is copying from someone, or this and that. They mentioned many things. So they brought the experts who knows the language better than the common people. They study the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed the Quran. They found that this is beyond the comprehension of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why one of them, they asked him to criticize. He said, Allah, you know, you people, you know that I know magic. He said, there is nothing with regard to magic which I don't know. You know this. And he said, if you're talking about poetry, you know I'm one of the best amongst you. And I'm telling you the truth, what Muhammad is saying is not magic. And he is not saying poetry. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ الشِّعْرَ وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُ. We do not teach him poetry. And it is not even appropriate for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be a poet. That's why, for your information, they said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never said a line of poetry without breaking it into the wrong way. You see, for those of you who are studying the Arabic language, you see the qawafi in share. The aim of the share, the rhyme. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never fixed it. This is to confirm the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so the companions, they used to say to the Prophet ﷺ, they used to smile when he said poetry because they know that he's putting it upside down. As long as the meaning is understood, he doesn't care. So that's the Prophet ﷺ. So these people, they studied the language, they found that no, it is impossible for a human being to have something like this. That's why you can find some of them. That was the case. One of them, he prostrated. Not because he believes in Allah, but he did not know what to do to appreciate the language. He was listening to the Prophet ﷺ, and in this surah also, we're going to see the place where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَمَّا اسْتَيْأَسُوا مِنْهُ خَلَصُوا نَجِيًّا. The brothers of Yusuf, they're talking to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, trying to convince him to let them go back with his brother. He did not. So how much they spent, how many days they spent trying to convince him, and he did not agree. All this length and the period, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he cut them short, he put them in few words. So this guy, when he heard this, he said, this type of summary, human being cannot do it at all. That's why he prostrated. Prostrated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not because he believes. Say, فَلَمَّا اسْتَيْأَسُوا مِنْهُ خَلَصُوا نَجِيًّا. Inshallah, we're going to talk about the fasaha that is involved in this verse, inshallah. So this is